What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday. Welcome back to Connor's Corner, and it is getting closer to the Christmas break. I'm surrounded with Christmas boxes, and we're getting decorated, so there's Christmas stuff everywhere. But today, we'll be talking about something that's getting a lot of, something a lot of people are talking about right now, especially in Toronto, and that, of course, is the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's been a funny start to the year for people that aren't Leafs fans, and some would even say hysterical. I'm not going to say that because I'm obviously a nice guy, but it's been interesting and kind of funny to kind of see all these fans and media freak out about the Toronto Maple Leafs. So today, we're going to be talking about maybe more of a controversial topic than what we talked about in the last video about the Maple Leafs, and that is if the Toronto Maple Leafs are even going to make the playoffs. We'll go through a couple points there, but before we do get into the episode, guys, make sure to go down in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Do you see them making the playoffs this year? What changes do you think they're going to make? Will Mike Babcock be fired? There's a lot of questions going around Toronto that I do want to discuss in today's episode, so if you guys have any thoughts, please let me know down below. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below as well. In the last video on the Toronto Maple Leafs, I think we got like 25 subscribers from it, so maybe we can do the same today. We're hoping to go for 1,000 views in this video as well, because the last video on the Leafs did really well. It's the best video that I've put up for obvious reasons, because it's on the Toronto Maple Leafs, so hopefully today will be the same. But without further ado, guys, let's get right into the episode. Okay, so there's a lot of things that are kind of going wrong in Toronto right now, but let's start with the one that obviously the most people are talking about, and they've been talking about it since the beginning of the summer pretty much, and that's the defense. The defense, in my opinion, has been worse than what I expected anyways. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. They brought in Tyson Barrie, who again is more of an offensive-minded defenseman. They got rid of Jake Gardiner, who some people thought was really the problem, which I didn't believe in anyways. He's actually having a good season in Carolina. So I thought the defense was going to be a bit better than what it is now. I don't watch the most Toronto Maple Leaf games since, I only have Rogers NHL Game Center. We don't have cable. We don't get Sportsnet. I wouldn't watch Sportsnet anyways from now on because of obvious, we all know what happened with who they fired in Don Cherry, but I wouldn't watch Sportsnet anyways, but I don't even get it, so I can't watch the Leafs games because Rogers NHL Game Center blocks out all the Leafs games, so I can't watch them. The only time I can really watch them is on Hockey Night in Canada and when we go out to eat at a restaurant for a Leafs game, but from when I watch them in highlights in Hockey Night in Canada, their defense is absolutely horrible. I did not expect that. Even their forwards, they just don't have that defensive mindset. Like last night, there was a goal, I forget who got it, but Austin Matthews was coming on the back check. He clearly saw his man in front of him, and he goes off to the he glided to the corner. I was shocked. I didn't know what he was doing. I wasn't even going for the Leafs last night. I was still shouting at him to pick up his man, and he didn't do it, and they scored on the play. So the Toronto Maple Leafs, obviously, their forwards, the coach has not, engraved in their minds that you got to play defense, especially when your defense isn't even good. Your forwards have to play defense. A guy like Bruce Cassidy has really engraved that in the Boston Bruins' minds from all the forwards, and you can definitely tell when you watch them play. Mike Babcock obviously hasn't done that. We'll talk about Babcock later on in the video, but again, they got to get more defense. You got better defensive play from their forwards when their defense is clearly not doing it. So the defense has been atrocious, and especially when guys like Morgan Rielly are not having a good years compared to last year. Tyson Barrie is awful. I'm expecting him to request a trade coming up because it obviously hasn't worked out in Toronto. Let's talk about another thing that a lot of people are talking about in Toronto, and that is backup goaltending. And I'm going to go through some of the teams that won last night with the backup. Boston Bruins had a really good game from Yaroslav Halak. He was definitely their best player last night. He made 45 plus saves, robbed Alex Ovechkin in the shootout, and he was fantastic. They went to a shootout, got a point, lost 3-2 to Washington. Tristan Jarry for Pittsburgh. He obviously only allowed one goal for the Penguins. They won 6-1 over the Leafs. Anton Bibeau from the Colorado Avalanche. He's not even their backup. Their starter and their backup are both out with injuries. He's come in as their third goalie. He still played okay. They won 5-4 in overtime. He allowed 4 goals, but he still played pretty solid. There's a couple more that I'm kind of forgetting now, but backups are a major part of the game. You cannot expect Frederik Andersen to play the full season. They waived Michael Hutchinson, and I said it from the beginning, Michael Hutchinson was not the issue in Toronto, and you're obviously seeing that with this new backup that they put in. I didn't even know who he was until they called him up. I can't even pronounce his name yet, which is surprising because I pretty much know who everybody is and can pronounce their name. I don't even know who this guy was until last night. He didn't even play half bad. He allowed 6 goals. I don't think most of the goals were his fault, but if Michael Hutchinson allowed those 6 goals, the Toronto Maple Leafs, like the fans, would be all over him. And I don't think Hutchinson definitely wasn't the issue. I don't even think this guy's going to be the issue. He's not a bad goaltender, but again, he allowed 6 goals. It's all in the defense. Let's now talk about the depth. So, the Leafs fans and, media have always said that the Leafs have great offensive depth. I don't think it's horrible, but I mean, with the injuries that they've gone through, Trevor Moore, Alexander Kerfoot, and Mitch Marner, Marner, big injuries. The depth has come in, and they haven't really done anything. When you look at teams like Pittsburgh with guys Bukestad, Hornquist, Crosby, Letang, all out, the depth has come through. They're playing really well. Same with the Bruins, Bergeron, Krug, DeBrusk, Ritchie, they're all out. The depth has come in and they've played well. The Leafs haven't gotten that play from the depth that, they kind of expected going into the season. We've got these great depth players that are going to play well, and they haven't really done that. So the depth offensively is not horrible. It's definitely not one of the worst, but, compared to other teams they're battling in the division, it's I don't think you could compare it to a team like the depth of the Boston Bruins. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. Now, I'm not going to count the Leafs out. I still think there's a very good chance that they make the playoffs, but there's also a very good chance that they miss it. And I would not be surprised if they don't make some changes soon. I don't think they're going to make some changes. The narrative is that, we've got a tough schedule, we've got injuries, let's get through it. That hasn't been the issue from what I've seen. They've got to make changes. I don't know if the changes come with firing Mike Babcock. I don't know if the changes come from trading Tyson Barrie, but they've got to do something because guys that are getting paid, the 4 guys that they've paid millions of dollars have not, helped this team to what people expected them to do. So it's been an interesting year for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's been fun to watch, and we'll see what happens now moving forward. They're in a skid. It's been tough, but hopefully for Leaf fans and for the media in Toronto, because they're all losing their minds, hopefully things will change. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button down below if you guys are new to the channel. Don Cherry, I didn't make a video on it because I didn't really want to get into that discussion, but he's gone. I'm just going to say I was extremely disappointed that he's gone. That's all I'm going to say. Hockey Night in Canada will never be the same. And, Ron MacLean, I know he said he apologized, like he kind of said something in the first intermission yesterday. I think he should have supported Don Cherry, but let's not talk about that right now. This is the new Coach's Corner. It's Connor's Corner. This is what you guys got to watch now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, please hit the subscribe button down below. Let me know your thoughts on the Toronto Maple Leafs in the comment section. And that's going to be it for the episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode.